Another few quarters later, we finally do one of these product update sessions again, sharing a little bit about what has happened within our product, but more than just looking into the back. We want to share in this video today about what is lying ahead, what we are currently discussing, what we are planning to build, what is already in the pipeline, and what will hit production very soon within the TextCortex and Zeno suites. Jay, you haven't been in a video for a long time. It's high time that you're here back again.
Nice to be here in your studio.
So let's start with the capabilities of Zeno in general, our AI alter ego. First things which we recently launched was the feature of agent profiles. It has been heavily requested by our users for a long time that you just wish to use different profiles when it comes to your favorite language model directly being default selected, certain tools like an internet search, image gen, data analysis to it, and certain prompts to it. With those releases of the profiles, we gave you an easy way to control and to interact with a team of agents by simply selecting them. And it is an upgrade out of what we used to call personas, just with the additional advancements, so to say, that you can default attach a knowledge base, tooling, large language models to it. Huge quality of life gain, actually, which wasn't too difficult. Something more complex than profiles. I now give over the microphone to Jay, who's talking about agentic RAG and agentic behavior within Zeno.
So with agentic RAG, Zeno is going to have immense capabilities, and which is one of the most important one is the ability to plan for execution steps. So when you ask a certain question, it is going to understand the question properly, and it is going to make a decision on if it should look at your knowledge bases, browse the web, look at the files, or maybe look at Slack or Gmail, like all the sources that you have connected. And depending on the question, if it's not able to find the answer, it will keep looking until it gets to a point to give you the correct answers. So this is going to reduce the work on your side. So that means like you're going to ask one question. And for example, in the previous interactions, when you ask a question, you sometimes get the response you want, sometimes you don't, and you keep digging by chatting with the agent, with Zeno. But now with the agentic RAG behavior, it is just going to keep looking until it gets you the answer. So it will also shorten the time for answer and also shorten the amount of, frustration on your end. Basically, we are going to offer you a much better user experience with this.
Yeah, I've seen one thing which we already built as a first step for that is multi-tool usage. Previously, for example, in particular, when you used web search, it just whatever you select. Previously, now you can already see that if you take a more advanced model, that it also accesses directly in the same query, it accesses YouTube, Wikipedia, Google Scholar, and then gives you a rundown with that. What I really like and look forward to with this agentic RAG behavior is that ultimately also that while planning, while the agent is working, they will come up with, hey, I actually need to call, like Jay already said, now I need to call Outlook. Now I need to call Slack to get additional information out. So besides adding all those new capabilities to Zeno and also expanding a lot of new standard agents we are adding to the portfolio, also a deep research agent will be to production or will be released to production very soon, where we're very curious which feedback we will get for that. In particular, enterprise customers have been keeping on asking for this. We were a little bit hesitant in this regard, in particular, because we've seen these waves before in 2022, 2023. There was these mass blog writers which just plan a structure of a blog post, 10 headlines, create content for each, and then just spam Google with it, which didn't turn out well. And we were hesitant initially with this deep research because we wanted to see how will people use it, because the damage you can do by creating so much content is enormous, also time as well as general resource-wise. But also, do people accept this as proper research, or are we just creating a lot of 20-page documents which nobody reads?
If it's boilerplate, if there's not really value in it. So.
Exactly, if it just all comes down to the same thing.
Exactly.
But moving on from Zeno's capabilities now over into the knowledge suite. And here's something very exciting, which Jay, as soon as he heard it as a request from one of our partners, jumped straight into it. This was knowledge graph and deep knowledge understanding. So what are we doing there?
What we are doing is we are looking deep into your files, which means when you upload a file or integrate a connection, we also have another work here which is looking into and like creating a metadata out of the documents that you upload. So You can think about it like an X-ray of a PDF paper. So you upload a PDF file and then you get all kinds of keywords that is associated with it, who are the parties in that. For example, if it's a contract, like what parties are in there, what is the confidentiality level. We can also guess that properly by looking at the document contents, and we can just create lots of metadata out of it. So when you look at the file, most probably have tons of files, but you don't exactly know what is going on in there. And we also create a visual understanding for that so that we can create a knowledge graph. And then you can see, for example, you can click on a name and see all the documents that is signed with that company directly with one click. And then you will get like a whole, how to say, like a trace of it, basically.
Yes. And it's also one of the reasons why our RAG leads to better results, because we just simply mine up to 200 data points additionally to every document, certainly on your consent. And this is also not a feature which is rolled out for everybody yet. If you're interested in this feature, please reach out to your respective account manager who can help you through that. Also with these visualizations, getting a better understanding of what happens there. What I still wish for as addition to this feature, besides finally bringing it directly into the sidebar next to ZenoChat, is also that we can get custom profiles, or again, an agent which mines those files differently. Just like we created this confidentiality score for one of our newest enterprise customers in there. So this is pretty exciting. Another thing where we are building much deeper understanding, which was actually an idea which originated from the now almost 40 consultancies, which we call our customers, was deeper understanding of files, in particular when it comes to understanding for tables, for figures, graphs, visualizations. And this is something which currently very nerdy inside of the company is called JSON DOC. JSON DOC will become part of the Explorer next to ZenoChat. The backend is already built, and frankly, it's amazing because you could literally ask now, hey, find me the slide deck with the chessboard on it.
Yeah.
It will find it for you. Why? Because we, good old primary school education, do ton of image interpretations and just extraction, parsing of the document to get a better understanding of it. That was from one of our first enterprise customers 2 years ago. They gave us this challenge, hey, if you can properly parse our annual report with the figures, with the tables, and they can work within it, that would be top notch. And this is now
becoming a reality, slowly. JSON DOC, it's called, but I don't know what is the name that is going to be in the product side of it.
People won't see it. Just within the Explorer. A lot of magic happens in the back though.
So we will add like additional rendering on top of the files, basically PPTX, PDF. These are all their own formats. So the JSON DOC is like a format that is like a one central place, let's put it this way. So everything is going to be converted to this format, and it is going to be easily viewable whenever you're clicking on one of the references. It will open up the Explorer on the side, and the rendering will work properly in each of the files. Because if you have ever used Notion, there's also block-based editor. So we are going to bring the block-based editor viewing capacity onto the Explorer, basically.
One of the big advantages of having this, basically internally proprietary created file format is also that we can even be more peculiar and more detailed in the referencing we can give you. I think this is one of the key factors why many customers are choosing us over Copilot, for example, or other kind of like knowledge management with chatbot solutions, is that most of them just give you a file there and say, I found something for your quality management process there. Here's a 200-page document. Wherever I took this information, find it yourself. This is basically helping us to be very detailed. Show you and bring you to the sentence where the information comes from. This is what I will also love about that. And it's also a little bit first step into building some sort of cursor for PowerPoint. Very excited about this. That much about the Knowledge Suite. Moving on with integrations.
We have more integrations coming in. We have recently implemented Microsoft Teams transcription, so you can find it already online. That means whenever you have a Microsoft Teams meeting, if you have the connection to your knowledge base, basically we can automatically feed this information directly into the knowledge base. So you will always have the meeting transcriptions in there, which is very useful. It came from one of our customers and they were super happy to use it. So give it a try, let us know, write it in the comments if you have any issues or improvement ideas. And on top of that, now we are getting also into a little bit more into the direction of giving write access to the tools and connecting more integrations together with it. For example, HubSpot is going to be another one, which is going to fetch the CRM data, but is also going to be able to, if you give the access to it, it will also be able to write the CRM data into there directly from the chat interface. But basically just staying inside ZenoChat, you are going to be able to do many more things, like creating a file on Google Drive or like a new document. You don't even need to leave there. You want to create a new HubSpot contact, it can be done. Also, you want to fetch data from there, that's also going to be possible. More email integrations like Gmail, like fetching all your inbox from it, if you connect to it, of course, or also the Outlook. And that is going to give, like with each piece of information, each piece of integration that you're doing, Zeno knows more about your day or like your work, and then we can help you better in terms of that.
Summarizing it a little bit, in particular, what Jaron described is from what has been the long-term very horizontal integrations. Yeah, we delivered Google Drive, OneDrive, Confluence, SharePoint. It's all more or less all doing the same. It's
files.
Collaborative
Documenting this.
File management systems. And now we basically go vertically. So we add things like Outlook or Gmail, communication. We add things like CRMs.
Yeah.
First of all, HubSpot, because we use it ourselves.
Yeah.
So as we like to doc feed everything we built, and we've been very successful with it so far, in particular when we look at our content marketing. This is what's happening there. One thing I also want to add for Jehun's mention on the right axis, I think that's a really big highlight we need to put on this, because it is exciting. A lot of people expect us to just prompt, hey, create a Google Doc out of what you just written. This is the base expectation people have. It used to be very difficult for our engineers to realize this, not because it's technically difficult, but ethically and security-wise difficult. There was long-term the discussion around prompt injection, that you need to be very careful which type of access you want to give there.
Definitely.
And this is also where we said, hey, we first look how the space develops for the sake of our customers. We keep it on this read access as we have it at the moment, and now we will slowly basically bulk up, give different integrations, user experience, basically how you could give that as well.
Definitely, yeah.
But this is also a little bit going into hand in hands with this whole agentic behavior.
Yeah, very good points from you, Dom. It's everything, and what we're doing is the security is at its core. So we're very careful about how do we do the integrations and what kind of third parties that we are using, what kind of servers that we are using, what kind of server providers that we are using. So it's very important, but we've seen that is like the whole industry is like getting more, getting better in terms of this as well. So we are slowly going to roll this out to selected customers. Just reach out to us.
One last thing in the integration suite is MCP. Model Context Protocol. Everybody talks about it. Nobody has proper idea what it is. I have sometimes the feeling. But one of our engineers was like very excited and picked it up after a month ago, was saying, let's look at it, how it develops. Apparently now we soon will have the beta of it, which we again will roll out very slowly to a handful of customers first. But also in this regard, giving more flexibility to some tech-savvy users in this degree.
I think it's like, it's definitely not, I cannot say that it's like for the masses. I believe it's like for the more, as you said, more tech-savvy users. But I think it's still important that we need to implement that, because some parts of our users are also really into it and they are tech-savvy, so they can implement this. So you can think about it as like a general gateway for implementing whatever you have at your hand. So you want to implement, let's say, Figma into it. With MCP, we're going to give you like a plug that you can also plug whatever that you want to have in there, which is a more do-it-yourself, DIY kind of approach. But if you want it, this is also going to be possible, thanks to Honor, as our head of engineering. He was very interested about implementing such kind of thing. And one day he came and like, actually I did that. I'm like, nice, let's give it a try then. Let's see how it's going to work out.
As with many things.
As with many things.
Surprise.
Exactly. Which is the best kind of organization, right? It's like a bottom-up movement, which I'm really happy about. And we have great people in the team, and they're like already very pumped up about what they want to bring to the product. One thing regarding that is, the UX, we are still ironing it out. So you're not going to see it in production. As of like when this video is published, I think it's still not going to be there, but maybe after some weeks it's going to be. UX is a little bit tricky because it's like such a DIY kind of experience. We need to find out the way of making it easy for everyone.
I think now with regard to MCP, it's more like end of Q2, beginning of Q3, where we will maybe onboard the first people to it. Also, we have a bunch of customers who asked for it. And they will be also the first to hear from it, because definitely they have enough understanding of this already to connect something and see how it works. But this is roughly the timeline there. But then this finished integration suite, the next thing is what changes in terms of product. And we will soon launch our app in the Android Play Store. Me as a happy Android user, I use it already constantly. Currently, there's a little bit of a workaround to get it using on an Android phone, but I love to use it on my mobile phone when I'm on the run somewhere and can just quickly talk to my 35 different agents I have there. That's also where I'm very excited for Agentic RAG, when it can basically orchestrate which type of agent in my repository is the best one to respond to something. That's like where you get like kind of like a team collaboration going. Anywho, this will come soon. Then Zeno coming to Windows as well, due to popular demand.
Yeah.
It will be a smaller format, most likely beginning of Q3 we will onboard the first people on it. We want to prevent some mistakes we have done back in the days with the Mac app, where we try to integrate too much and too deep, and in the end, sincerely, not all of it could be maintained. So we want to be a little bit more strategically what we are releasing in this Windows app.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. It's going to be, the Android app is going to be a PWA. It's not a native one, but we are hopefully also going to bring a more native experience. At the moment, the whole product focuses on really bringing the best experiences in Agentic RAG. Our first priority is to get the answers that you need from all the knowledge sources that you have. That is the number one priority, getting the highest quality data there and verifiable information, so that when you click on the reference, you go to exactly the place that we are getting the data from. These are our top priorities. On the side, of course, the clients are super important, of course, but it's taking a little bit more time because like we heard about Android Windows app many times, but it took a little bit more time to get it there.
We have a 5-figure waitlist for both sides. But yeah, that's really, we try to usually first develop something for the web app. The experience there very fluent. One of the changes which will hit in Q2 2025 is the extension revamp. So basically all the visual and functional updates from the web app, which we pushed in December, will now also arrive at the extension. And then respectively, we look where we can further trickle this down. The Flows product.
Flows product. Yeah, that's something that I want to bring to production for a long time, but I'm constantly being stopped by the rest of the team saying that this is too much. Please don't open this, don't start this. But it's coming at some point. I
already have it deployed again for long-time customers of ours. The Flows product is a simple workflow builder, because we know that many of our customers, they appreciate control over the workflow which they work on. This Flows product is a fully large language model native sandbox workflow builder. At the moment, we have it as part of our solution engineering program. That means that existing customers, if you have different type of use cases, would like to have an early validation, early type of feasibility idea, you can check in with your account manager. They can basically open up a meeting for solution engineering. Certainly only as resources are given for that. And then our team is building those first flows for you. What I would hope to at one point is that also I can add one of these flows, because it produces an API endpoint that I can edit as a tool in an agent profile. This is still a wish I have, that I can build something custom in this Flows thing, grab and scrape different websites.
I really like the idea. I would like to get more engineers if possible for that.
The other side, focus. There's so many shining things around in this whole industry. Ultimately, the only thing which matters is what can the user use and create value with.
Definitely. But the Flows product is something that's available, but you need to reach out to us for select customers.
Yes. Good. Do we have anything else?
Not that I can think of. I think we talked about all the product points that we are going to implement. Also, if you would like to have a look at the roadmap, if you go inside the web app and then on top left, you're going to see there's a product roadmap button. So you can click on it and you can actually see what is going on, what is the progress on certain tasks and certain features. And you can also see sneak peek videos or mock videos about how it works and things like that. So you don't have to wait for our YouTube videos to get an update.
Yeah, that's true. For that, we need to have more of a routine and make them more regular.
Very true. That's true. I think that was the product update video after a year or something, or I don't know how
I
long.
think the last one was with Banish I did in October. And before that, I think it's a 6-month schedule we are currently
Every
on.
6 months.
Like every 6 months.
Having really fast.
Fast with development, slow with communication.
Exactly, that's always the issue, man. Yeah. As we're seeing it every day. I think the marketing team is going to like, I don't know, just kidnap me one day because of releasing products too much every day, and they're like getting angrier and angrier. I can see it during the day.
But at one point there might be, what is it one, How I Met Your Mother, when they took out the banner? An intervention.
There's an intervention happening. Yeah.
A product velocity
Yeah, I think Barish was going to intervene me today. I think he was already intervening me today. Yeah. I need to talk with him and I need to say sorry. I'm not going to do that again.
Oh, yeah. Just velocity is amazing. I think one thing which is also coming, which is the focus for the next 2 quarters, is in this industry, it's very easy to go very horizontal the whole time and add next to it. That's also why you will, in the near future, see some optimizations to the navigation bar. We will take a bunch of features off. They won't be taken off permanently or closed down or sunsetted. They will be hidden behind an experimental beta user checkmark, so to say, so that new users, new customers are not steamrolled by the amount and wealth of options they have. So we're going to reduce the load there a little bit, and you will still find all of these features if you click a checkmark within the settings. If you will see as part of an update, reach out to us. There was a reason why we had this more apps label in the navigation bar. It's a little bit our playground. We test different product ideas there. We were testing different traffic as well, but we've seen that with new and even with existing customers, it was disturbing their mental peace. Now it's a little bit harsh to say, no, but it was confusing. It was simply too much at one point. So we will reduce this a little bit, full focus on agents. I have a pretty nice idea I want to put into this navigation bar as well, which I'm pretty excited about. Taking some inspiration.
Just vibe code it.
I think you don't want me to vibe code something in there, except it's like a 3,000 line of code file then in the end. Yeah, so this is exciting. I wanted to say something completely different, but I forgot it now again.
Oh, good. We are working too much. I think we already did pretty good for this.
I know what I wanted to say. It's that we are easily building horizontally and adding more and more next to each other. But the next 2 quarters are focused on going deep, going vertical. Just like with our integrations, most of what we've talked about today was about knowledge integrations, about making what works well and what people love us for, just even better, faster, higher quality, more validation, more truthfulness behind it. So this is really where we are a scaling company. This is the scaling use case for us. So let's improve on that. Even if it's not much change on the face or something, on the front end, there's a lot of things we're constantly planning in the background to make the whole experience better.
Exactly. There's so many tiny bits like here and there, a lot of things being fixed and improved every day that is imperceptible to the eye, like a UX design or something. There's a lot of changes coming in. But for the Agentic RAG, I think that's one feature I'm really looking forward to bringing to the people and see how they're going to use it, because that's going to be a different experience for you. And I think people are going to love it. For our users, it's going to be a massive efficiency increase.
Then let's end it from here. Thank you very much if you endured until this point.
Thank you. And take care.
And take care. Yes.
Don't forget to give us feedback. Take care.
Ciao, ciao.